Okay, going some more Kill Star 2. Where we left off, well, we got that portal set up. And our trying to fire sensor knows our smell, our human thief, we spaceship. Here we go. Through the portal. Now, I would love to clean this whole area, but that isn't possible as of right now. We're able to come back later to full clear this area, but it has too much stuff. See what one's done. That would be a jump. I don't remember if they call it a hunting fire or jumping fire one.
Sweet Sophia Anne Artois was quite the painter in her day. Her art brought fame and fortune. All her meals were gourmet. So when her husband told her they must move to lands afar, she answered, "You will build a home that's fit for an Artois." The lady and her husband did arrive with their two boys. Sophia loved the house, but found its land a counterpoise. The woods were dark and dreary. There were swamps instead of springs. The worst of all
That
were
works.
all the wretched, greasy, crawly things. As months went by, the artist felt she lost her inspiration. She cursed her new surroundings as the cause of her stagnation. But then it came, the one to blame, the spider that made her exclaim and strike as she was hating, how she fought to keep from fading. It was there beneath her paint and brush, the spider that Sophia crushed and scraped against her canvas turned to grime. And in her heart she felt a wish that warmed her blood and made her blush. Through wicked teeth she whispered one more time. It said sweet Sophia Anne Artois did lose her mind that day. At least that's what the servants and the local spiders say. She crawled beneath the floorboards, catching spiders every night. Alas, her muse did kill her. Cause of death, a spider bite.
Yeah. The nail gun. Try to remember all the candles are, because I'll need to at some point. Yeah, I see the thing for it right here. Yes. Yes, Bakery Weeping Angels. This area has 3 of these. Yep, turning around a little too fast in the QAI. That's not creepy at all. I was right. I knew there was one this way. Does it do anything? Not a grid module. Alright, present. Bring card into a simmer. Wait for a simmer. Entry time circuit clockwise. And I have new butterfly wing and a beetle. To the simmer. So, we need Hive Newt, butterfly wing and beetle. Also wanna bring a small mushroom nearby. That's our beetle. There's more Russians right there. That's a butterfly. I have a newt and a beetle. Now I feed into a boil until it turns brown. Then we'll add a small mushroom and then turn into a broiled. That's orange, not brown. for China's brown. China brown? I'll put in. Oh, that worked. Until it turns blue. We have the fire potion. I'll go and show you what it does. It's good for reaching areas that are a little harder to reach. And then getting some of the items. More practice in it. Get 20 kills. Easy enough. We're at 18 kills. Got 2 more of these. Ghost story, Francis.
Francis's family had a vacant vacation home. It had stood empty since the passing of his mother, Sophia, and it was that emptiness that had lured him back. Like his mother, Francis was a terribly serious artist. He worked with hammer and chisel, marble and stone, and required the utmost focus when he sculpted. And yet, unlike his mother, Francis dared not rely upon such fickle things as feelings and inspiration to move his hand. He simply committed himself to the discipline of his work, and he was very good at it. He was not very good at being a father. When his 3 daughters, Annie, Thisbe, and Penelope, would come to visit, the silence of the manor was shattered by their laughter as they played their favorite game, red light, green light. Francis liked the game better back when it was called statues. These days, he didn't like it at all. He suggested they play a new game. For every cobweb they dusted and spider they squished, he would pay them each 1 nickel. And the girls obeyed. One afternoon, while Francis rested his weary head, the girls spotted a spider in the upstairs hallway. They followed it into their father's studio, where it crawled all the way to the top of the towering self-sculpture. With nickels dancing in their heads, the trio wheeled a ladder to the statue and climbed until they could climb no higher. From the tallest rung, they reached out their arms as swatters in hand, hoping for a satisfying squish. Just then, their father arose and returned to his studio where, at the sight of his children teetering over his prized work, he let out a terrible shout. It gave the girls such a start that they lost their balance. The ladder wiggled, the sculpture wobbled, and as they all toppled over, Francis leapt with all his might to save his statue. There was, indeed, a satisfying squish.
Oh. Oh, yes, it is. So we need 12 to get on there. You're thinking. This looks like a 2. Oh, yeah. No, I know how to do this. Wait, it says one of the enemies, right? Sounds like a tube of paint. Like a camera. I feel right? Yes. My downside, we gotta wait for it to draw. Actually, I got one more of these.
Manoir d'Artois was allegedly cursed, was evil through roof, wall, and floor. Nobody would ever dare call it a home, save for that odd duck, Theodore. Young Theo was bold, and his photograph sold at prices quite high, though he cared not for gold. Now, Theo enjoyed being out in the wild where the beasts and the creatures did roar. Art's all about risk, he would say with a smirk, and going to places we shouldn't. I like getting right where the animals live and finding the shots others couldn't. As moccasins bite, as wildebeests fight, I focus my lens, I time it just right. So Theo embarked to the house in the wood where the rest of his family wouldn't. But what nobody other than Theo could know was that all of his pictures were staged. He prodded and pestered and bothered his subjects until they were nice and enraged. He'd poke with a stick, the shutter would click. As simple as that, all trades have a trick. And that was his plan as he walked to the docks with a spear and a chicken he'd caged. Young Theodore felt that he needed a test. He needed to catch something greater. With camera and tripod, he set up his shot, prepared for the swamp's alligator. The water was baited, he sat and he waited. The creature appeared, how he was elated. But just as he ready to strike with his spear, young Theodore spotted a traitor. A spider, spider sat right on the lens. He shooted away in a hurry, and yet it returned the very same spot like it wanted his photograph flurry. The man had enough. It was time to get rough with his back to the swamp theater.
I can't get in. There's another one somewhere we met.
The night of the flood, Bella and I gathered all that was precious to us and tore apart our home. It
We
would
got
never have
things.
survived the rising waters
Another
as a
one.
cottage, but as a raft, we hoped it might carry us someplace new. And it did.
The raft turned left and the raft turned right. It carried the both of us through the night. And when the raft did run aground, we couldn't believe what we had found.
What must once have been a private, lavish home now sat covered in moss and chickweed. It looked as though it had always been there, sprouted from the earth like the rest of the forest. And that's how you know you're in the right neck of the woods. Given enough time, a good forest always welcomes you into the family.
We climbed ashore, knocked on the door. When Donna heard scratching beneath the floor, we searched and found, to our surprise, a family of spiders before our eyes.
The spiders welcomed us into their home. The walls were adorned with mouse holes and mold, and the air was thick with the scent of tragedy. It was, in a word, perfect. During those early summer days, we would forage for fungi and weave garments from the spider silk. And in the evenings, we played the piano and sang with the creatures of the night until the night was over.
The spiders here we did befriend. We wished that our time here would never end. So then I sat and I had to think, and I thought of a potion we could drink.
Since drinking Bella's potion, she and I have grown closer than ever before. When we're not crawling on the walls and ceilings, we enjoy returning to our original forms to write about the adventures we've had and the stories we've heard. It's hard to believe the sort of things the spiders here have witnessed, and the plans their kind has for the future sound even more far-fetched. But if there's
We
one
found that
thing
one right
I've
here.
learned, is that you should never underestimate a spider. They have ways of making you regret it.
Should strangers come and find our tale, take heed, the spiders here will prevail. Our time has come to bid adieu, but you're not alone. We're watching you.
Okay, so yeah, while that was going off, I had a bit of realization. Fourth story was this person. So I wonder, the other people from the stories. One actually killed Dars, the one killed Spider was on the land, got him killed by. Yeah, you can even see it, get killed by the gator. Haven't heard his story yet. But we have it. And of course, that last story was these two. No, we do some stuff in this area. We'll go ahead and we'll end up moving to the room while we work on. Turn it in. Alright, put it in for us. Nice. Going here, the story of Carl.
When Carl heard there was a death in the family, he was overjoyed. He had always gone to great lengths to stay in touch with his relatives, no matter how distant or senile or technically unrelated, because Carl was familiar with the age-old saying, "You can't take it with you." And he was happy to take whatever it was that they couldn't. In this case, it was a house. The last bit of evidence that Carl's family was, at one point, a family of status. They were renowned painters, sculptors, and photographers. Carl bought houses and rented them to short-term tenants. But this one was unlike any he had seen before. Even for an abandoned home, the interior contained an alarming abundance of cobwebs. What bothered Carl more, though, was that this home didn't seem abandoned at all. There were things that didn't quite fit. Dried meats and plants hung about the kitchen, an assortment of jars filled with elixirs. There was even an enormous cauldron resting beside a pair of ancient broomsticks. It was clear to Carl
Damn.
what he was dealing with. Squatters, he bellowed. If there was one thing Carl couldn't stand, it was people who thought they had some sort of right to a roof over their heads. Strangling his cell phone, he dialed a cleaning company, then a moving company, and even mustered enough strength to order a pizza. By the time the sun had set, Carl was ready for a good, undeserved rest. But he would not get it. Not that night or any night to follow. He would wake with a start to the sound of a broken grandfather clock chiming in the darkness, or to what he swore were whispers coming from the walls. Even Carl's waking hours brought him no respite, for no matter how much tidying had been done the day before, every morning brought with it more cobwebs. It was enough to drive a person mad. The last time anyone in town saw Carl, he was at the local hardware store, muttering to himself over tubs of insecticide, bug traps, and other violent delights. And as for the last time we saw him, well, that's a secret the spiders did politely ask us to keep.
He found my end. I think you're going to upgrade my weapon. Just carry here my fair weapon equipment. Getting necessary for the requirements. You say that word. Yeah, so the efficiency. So if we keep going hand in mind, it'll tell us when there are Hamnites nearby, which is actually a really good upgrade. Move faster on the clipboard, all flows and effects last longer. Not bad. This one, vacuum lured up. That's easy enough. Kill unsuspecting fire with pistol. No longer terrified. So, let's do that then. More rounds, say. Night. Oh, this is just easy. We want to complete this objective because by doing so, we can upgrade our stuff and make it be better. I totally go that way. How we doing? Did we do enough? Yes, we did. So we basically we can use a grenade for the limit. How we do a sniper? Oh yeah, because I've already done a little bit of that. That one's actually very easy. Go kill. Yep. Hip fires are stuck for longer. Me kill more. Load that full oil fire. Hip fires using the laser gun. Should. Not quite. We're we're getting close. Both of these are good though. We are up to not. Oh, we're one away. So disappointing. So, this we're rolling this one. So next time, see y'all later.